What's up, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, a fun little experiment where we're going to be discussing how the Jets can create up to $73.5 million in cap space for 2025. We're going to talk about cutting some of the big players on this team. So how can the Jets get up to $73.5 million? We'll talk about that here in a second. But before we do so, I want to get you guys a look at a little AFC East sub battle. We're going to be taking on our New England Patriots channel, who has over 22,000 subscribers, and we are just over 3,000. So if you guys could help us out, help us close this gap here. I sit actually right next to the Patriots Today host. So if you guys want to help us beat Allie Barefoot and Patriots Today, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we can reach 4K shortly. So how is this video going to go down? So first, we're going to talk about some cut candidates for the New York Jets, and then we're also going to talk about two guys who I think could get restructured, and then some of the own Jets free agents and also some free agent targets that they could obviously target if they do create up to almost $75 million in free agency. But right now, the current Jets cap space sits at $16.85 million. Now, this is also incorporating the Aaron Rodgers, assuming he is going to take that post-June 1st cut, and it'll open up $9.5 million in the Jet or for the Jets during free agency. But also, this leaves the door open to cutting some of Rodgers's teammates. And the first guy we're going to talk about here is actually wide receiver Davante Adams. Now, I think this is a move that we could get any second now. Like, I'm just waiting for the notification to pop up on my phone that the Jets will be cutting and parting ways with Davante Adams, just because financially it makes so much sense for the Jets to move on. And here's how it would look in terms of a post-June 1st cut. Now, I think this is unlikely because you can't use this $36.25 million for this year's free agency. It would just obviously open up after June 1st. But these are the details. It would create $2 million in dead cap in 2026, $6.27 million. Then it does open up $36 million in 2025 for savings, but I don't think this is a likely option. I actually think the Jets will do Davante Adams good service here and make him a pre-June 1st cut. 2025 dead cap would be at $8.3 million. 2025 in savings would be at $29.8 million. So that opens up a lot of cap space for the New York Jets, just making them a pre-June 1st cut. And then right away, if you just make that move for Davante Adams, it already gets the Jets up to $46.65 million to spend in free agency. I think this is the direction they're going to go. You can save $30 million, just making them pre-June 1st. And plus, you don't want to have, since you're already going to have $35 million in dead cap for 2026, you don't want to take that extra $6 million in dead cap and put it on that 2026 books, especially when that would be necessarily year two of a rebuild for New York. So listen, Adams is a solid receiver. There's no doubt about it. I still think he's a top 12-ish guy in the National Football League. Still could be a low-end wide receiver 1, probably fits better as a wide receiver 2 at this point, but I think this is a no-brainer for the Jets to cut him, just get him off this books and kind of shift away from the Aaron Rodgers era that we had for the Jets and get this new regime, the guys they want in the building. But the second guy we could cut here, how about another Aaron Rodgers guy, Allen Lazard at the wide receiver position. Now, if the Jets do cut both these guys, they're going to have to make some moves at the wide receiver room, and we'll talk about that on the second half of today's show, but also look at the Jets to possibly draft a Ted McMillan at number 7 or a Tyler Warren. But how do the savings work for Lazard? I think this is going to be a post-June 1st cut. It would add $4.36 million in dead cap for 2026 and $2.18 million for 2025, but it does open up the Jets $11 million in 2025 savings, which they could use. Because let's just say you spend all of your cap space during free agency, obviously to sign your draft class, and then you get that extra $11 million in the summer because there's going to be guys out there like cornerback Stephon Gilmore. He's probably going to wait to make his decision if he wants to play or retire, but he could be a guy you could sign, later in August with that extra $11 million. And then all of a sudden the Jets, you're at $57.65 million for 2025. So there are clear moves and just two obvious moves, in my opinion, to cut those guys, and then you would get up to $57.65 million. But I also think there are some restructures that the Jets could consider making. Now, I think these are a little more unlikely than the cut candidates we had because I would almost guarantee that Lazard and Adams get cut. But they could also restructure Quinnen Williams, and that would save them $11.58 million. Now, restructure, it just pushes it down the line, so you would eventually have to pay off this $11.58 million, but it does open it up for this year, so that could be an option. Then also Quincy Williams, Quinnen's brother at the linebacker spot. If you restructure him, you would save another $4.26 million. So the Jets can make a couple moves here, just restructuring some deals, cutting some guys where you could really open up the books for this year in free agency. And then all of a sudden, the Jets, you're at $73.49 million with just making 4 moves. Now, will they restructure Quinnen? Will they restructure Quincy? I am not sure on that, but I promise you they will cut Lazard. They will cut Davante Adams. Just financially, it just makes too much sense for new GM Darren Moogie. But then the Jets got to make some decisions on their own free agents here. And, you know, I think Hassan Reddick, you just got to let him walk. Obviously, that was a bad situation this past season, but I think you just walk him out the door. DJ Reed, we'll talk about him here in a second, but you also got Javon Kinlaw. I think he is most likely going to leave. Then Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith, I think both those guys will be walking out the door. But the one guy I want the Jets to re-sign, actually, is DJ Reed at the cornerback position. Now, DJ Reed has been very vocal, talking about he thinks his time with the New York Jets are done, but if you offer him a good enough deal and you show him that, we're going to build a solid team this season, we're going to go try to compete and win some big-time games, maybe DJ Reed reconsiders that. But I think he's a fantastic cornerback, too. I think him and Sauce Gardner have a perfect yin and yang with each other's games, or if those are your top 2 corners, you got a really good foundational piece in that secondary. But he's going to cost a lot of money, so I'll ask you guys this. Would you re-sign DJ Reed? Give me an S for sign, or give me a P for pass down below in the comment section. You guys let me know your thoughts if you guys would bring back DJ Reed to the New York Jets. Now, my answer to this is just a simple yes. I think the Jets should. Now, obviously, I'm not going to give DJ Reed up towards, $20 million because he will have a lot of suitors. Like the Minnesota Vikings are reportedly huge on this guy. If they lose Byron Murphy in free agency, especially after that London game, the Vikings coaching staff loves the way he played. So I could see them throwing a bag at DJ Reed. But I think the Jets should at least make him an offer, or at least just say, hey, go out and test free agency. Say whatever offer you get, we will have a chance to match that. But Reed this past season, I think it was a lot better in the first half of the year. I think when the Jets season kind of derailed, I don't want to say he mentally checked out, but, he just wasn't as, into the game as, you would like one of your best corners in the league. But still, getting targeted 59 times this year, 33 completions only, 369 yards, 1 touchdown, had 11 PBUs, no interceptions on the year for DJ Reed. But this is the PFF contract projection for number 4. It's a 3-year, $42 million deal. 27.5 of that would be guaranteed. So it's necessarily a 2-year, $14 million deal. If that's the contract, the Jets should take that in a heartbeat and re-sign him immediately. So DJ Reed, we bring him back, but then where could the Jets look elsewhere? How about a guy like Milton Williams? Now, I know fans have been clamoring to get another guy next to Quinnen Williams on that defensive line and building that Williams wall. I think would be awesome because Quinnen, just a blue chipper, he can do it all at that spot. But Milton, one of the best interior pass rushers in the National Football League, dominated the Super Bowl, dominated Trey Smith, one of the top offensive guard free agents out there. He had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, had that forced fumble on Patrick Mahomes. He was truly special, and plus he's hitting the prime of his career, about to turn 25 years old. So watch out for Milton Williams. I would love him to be the signing, but also the Jets do need to bring in a right tackle this year. And Ronnie Stanley, the Ravens probably aren't going to be able to sign him to an extension, so he could be on the open market. And I think that would make a lot of sense for the Jets because you already got Olu Fashanu at that left tackle. Maybe you want to use that $70+ million you could potentially have in free agency and go get a right tackle for whatever quarterback you bring in there. So watch out for Ronnie Stanley. I would be a fan of that. Then also Chris Godwin. I think it would be a perfect complementary piece next to Garrett Wilson. He's already, excelled in his career as a wide receiver too, coming off a major knee injury this past season. So I don't think his price would be that ludicrous for the New York Jets, probably around a 2-year, $24 million deal. But if you do lose Davante Adams, Lazard, you're going to have to recreate that wide receiver room. And a guy like Chris Godwin, could you imagine a perfect Jets offseason offensively where you go sign Ronnie Stanley, he's your right tackle, you solidify that offensive line, you go draft Tyler Warren at pick number 7, then you go sign Chris Godwin. The amount of weapons and just the support system you would have for whether that's a rookie quarterback you draft on day 2 or 3, or if it's a guy like Justin Fields you bring in, it would be a lot better of a support system than most people think. And then you look defensively, you got Aaron Glenn, Steve Wilkes, man, in that side of the football with the blue chippers you have in Sauce and Quinnen. I think that's a recipe for success for the New York Jets. But we're talking free agency here. You guys just need to name one free agent the Jets need to sign down below in the comment section. Let me know who it is, whether it's an own guy like DJ Reed or Milton Williams, Ronnie Stanley, Chris Godwin. You guys just let me know a free agent the Jets need to sign. Now, if you guys could also hit that subscribe button, lock us in as your go-to Jets YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, go Jets.